gone, so let's continue while we're doing some stuff. The monthly work plan, looking forward.
Page 35. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. As per normal process, we'll just take questions on those, please. And given that Mr. Adey and Mr. Maxwell aren't here, we'll answer those as best we can.
Councillor Belford.
Page 35, item 13. Final approval for RWSS Monday, June 27th, survey custody. So I guess this might get teased out further in the Deloitte meeting or whatever, but the implication of that is we are expecting to have all the various items of information before us prior to that time to actually make a final decision on the RWSS?
Yes, that's our understanding, is that that's the schedule that HBRC Limited is working towards, and that all of the items that were required to be addressed from your June 2014 decision to invest will be presented either at or prior to that meeting.
It's a, if I might add, it would be a good question to ask HBRC when the Councillor Belford would be the appropriate vehicle, I think. But yeah, no, good point. Councillor Scott.
Through you, Mr. Chair, question for Mr. Palmer, and that is on the schedule of tank meetings.
Page.
On page 39. Meeting 21 is due on the 9th of August, but a number of placeholders for meetings of tank have been sent out, including a June and July meeting. So can you clarify if there's any intention to hold any meetings between those two dates?
Councillor, there's no intention of holding a meeting of the full tank group during those months. They may be subcommittees, working committee dates. I'll follow up and just make sure that there's nothing gone wrong with the diary on
that. Councillor Bevan and Councillor Parker.
Bottom of page 36, staff continue progress on the UMF Manuka plantation, and it goes on to talk about planting trials to test flowering timing. That's actually a really critical component of any Manuka honey scheme working, and I don't know whether other councillors are aware, but if you can extend the period of flowering of Manuka plants by getting different Manuka plants from different parts of the country that flower at different times, you can extend the opportunity to gather honey from maybe 1 month to 3 months or something. So it's actually a really significant trial, and I'm interested to know a little bit more about the sourcing of the plants and when we'll get some outcomes from this.
We can't provide you with that information right now, Mr. Yeah, but happy to. I'll note that down and get Mike or one of his team to send out an email to everyone. Yep.
So it could be as different as that. Wow, that's actually huge.
So it supposedly is from different parts of the country. The difficulty potentially is that when you take a plant from, I don't know, Nelson and plant it here, it might flower at a different time. So you may not be able to extend the flowering through differentiated Manuka from different parts of the country, and that's what has to be tested.
You just don't want to get one from Wairoa because they grow under blackberry bushes when they get older. Councillor Barker.
2 points. Firstly, I want to respond to the observation of Councillor Dick about the hearing in this chamber. And I have raised on 2 occasions before about the possibility of spending some money on a decent sound system here. And I've heard nothing about it. So what I would
because the sound system's not good enough.
All right.
I just, sorry to cut you off, Councillor, I couldn't help that, excuse me. But it is part of our annual plan discussion, is it? Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure it's part of the annual plan process, correct? Yeah.
Well, I'd just like to find out we're either going to do it or not, one way or the other. And the last thing is, I was intrigued on the resource management compliance. We've filed the papers in the Wairoa District Court. Is that because it was the court nearest to the incident we thought that was best for politics and engagement with the local community, bearing in mind that it's going to increase the cost to this council for the prosecution considerably?
Two points to note there, Councillor. First is that apparently it is a requirement to lodge in the court closest to the incident happening, so that's the first requirement, which is the Wairoa District Court, which so that's the first bit. But my understanding also is that the whole hearing may not need to be held there, and that we would probably request it be transferred to Napier.
Can I just go back to Councillor Bevan's remarks about Manuka? I was in Dock Head Office last week and two of their top scientists were talking about Manuka, and it was actually entitled The Problem of Manuka. They expressed extreme concern about eco-sourcing of Manuka, whether it's from the east coast, plants being brought down from Northland, and across those lines, of course, came the people that are making a lot of money out of it. I wouldn't say I agree with the scientists, but they did. I just wanted to let you know that there's huge concern about almost cross-pollination of, and they said there's something like 14 different species of Manuka in New Zealand, and including what's arrived as an Australian Manuka. So that's just from a scientific point of view. I'd just like to bring that to your notice.
Thank you. Now, Councillor Graham, and then I'll come back to Councillor Butt.
Item 44, back to Waihi Dam. I just want to note that we haven't received any report on what's going on at the Waihi Dam. So I just that was part of what I wanted to see in terms of a council meeting.
Councillor.
Item 16.
Oh, jolly good. Who's been charged?
Eastern Group, and at this stage one other party. I can tell you who that is in public excluded, and the only reason I can't tell you yet in open is because they may seek name suppression. However, Eastern Group have, came out straight away with a media response, so they've really not bothered.
Okay, Councillor Belford.
I just have three more. Item 45 refers to this effort we're making to boost the home heating program. Could we just get a short report at some point as to how that, it sounds like that is positive, but it would be nice to hear a little more about whether that is actually getting any traction in terms of installations and what have you. Number 63, drilling program, Ruatanifa, never mind, I misread that one, take that off. The last one is 83, is there yet any other expected date for the release of the REDS report?
I believe 20th of July is the working date at the moment for a launch of the strategy involving ministers. There is a process we're currently undergoing with central government agencies and all of the regional partners in preparing content for a cabinet paper that will go to the cabinet for decisions around funding various components of the strategy for the launch on the 20th of July.
Councillor Hewitt.
I noticed there's not a report from the works group that comes through here regularly, and I wonder if you might consider adding that. And the reason I ask is that there's been significant activity with wasps in Central Hawke's Bay, and then so I've been liaising with different people in the department, well, in regional council, to try and get some solutions down there. And then I hear that Rex has similar issues in his neck of the woods. So I just think we might be able to just sort of expand the learnings and help each other along the way if we're hearing a little bit about what these significant issues that they're dealing with as well.
Further questions? Someone happy to move? We accept this report. Thank you. Seconded, Councillor Dick. Further discussion? Put the motion. All those in favour, please say aye. Contrary, no. Minor items not on the agenda. Then.
We can do this.
We've only got. We'll do this and then we'll do that. How's that? Incredibly efficient day. So wasps. We've had a taste of wasps.
Yeah, we've had a taste of
Central
wasps. So I've had, on my little 10-acre property, I've had 4 big wasp nests. One was really hard to get. Had to pull boards out, and so they are a menace. And I hear Councillor Hewitt. I also heard on the national program that there's a lot of wasps. It's an epidemic of wasps. The chap who come and killed my one wondered whether we shouldn't be taking a bigger. He was a wasp killer. So I guess he has a conflict of interest here, but whether he says it's everywhere, and whether we shouldn't be taking a bit of a bigger role in this. So I thought I'd just bring this to the table, and I won't be apologising if I'm wrong on this. So I'm just bringing his thing to the table, and my own personal circumstances. That wasps are certainly becoming a major issue. Will appear to be anecdotally on my own property and Councillor Hewitt's, but also there seems to be a lot of public concern around it, and perhaps we should be allocating some resource to this.
And I might just add, it's a significant issue in Central Hawke's Bay, and not only our own property, although we have got 7 nests this year, but the cycleways, and it's becoming a public safety issue. I am aware, and Liz, I know you'll update us on this more, but the Works Group have been registered certified for handling a new product called Vespex, which I thought had been getting on top of the issue down there. And then I received Rex's email, or CC, thank you, and then the phone started again. There are still significant issues on the cycleways along the riverbank in Central Hawke's Bay, and I understand, although there's second-hand, that they did have to close the path recently. It's just so dangerous. There's blackberry along there, and I agree, it's a huge issue for people in the community.
It's going to get worse. I mean, every single fence post at home has got paper wasps all over it and busy harvesting fibre to build their nests. Next year is going to be just an absolute explosion. So, yeah, something to follow up, I think.
I think maybe we need to look at how, small communities have been, that we're handling this. I know out at Poree Beach over the summer, the whole beachfront was just, all the homes were swarmed with them. So they got somebody with a certified handler to get in and do it properly. But if people are just randomly disturbing nests or whacking some fly spray on, and then they just get up and swarm and relocate somewhere else, they're only just exacerbating the issue and moving it 50 metres maybe.
It's compounded by the release of sugars out of willow trees it's not an aphid, it's a bug that emerged last year, and that's fed a wasp population that is out of control. So, okay.
How can we deal with this?
Okay, well, you've raised the point, the Chief Executive's got that.
So I've got a similar problem in a property I own up north, and I did some investigation into this 2 or 3 weeks ago. There is a new product on the market called Vespex, which is produced by a company based in Nelson, where they have really serious problems. Eh? Sorry?
Can we just...
She just said
It is in minor items, and we're going to end up having a big debate here.
Well, that's good.
So that's what our council should be investigating, staff should be investigating, because it's clearly a problem nationwide now.
Can I just
observe, Chair, that we have an environmental science team which are simply outstanding. They understand the nature of pests and so on, And rather than us try and figure out here in some homespun way a solution to the problem, we ask some of our scientific people who we employ for this and whose advice we welcome every time. I cannot get it.
I put that in as a placeholder in case we needed to have further discussion following the HBRC presentation and the Deloitte's review, but that was when we had a different order of business. So
I know, we should cover it at that time. We will endeavour to ask those questions. Shall we break for morning tea? Please. Righto, thank you.